women are so amazing. So many women who went through so much pain, and now they have all this experience to share with you when you're going through it. And they're so like willing to open up and tell you, I've been through that. And they were like, this is what you do in this case. And they embraced me.
May 5. Oh, it's Cinco de Mayo 2024, 6 a.m. on a Sunday, on a Monday, on a Tuesday, oh yeah, on a Wednesday, they say guilty, I got stripes are all my one. It's a Johnny Cash song. Now, hopefully this is going to be short. I woke up not too long ago, and I did wake up like this. It's cold in the desert today. My weight went up since 2 days ago. I was 38.5, and 93.5 or so. And then yesterday I was 93.8 or so. Today I'm 94.5. All of it is not bad, but you don't want to trend upwards and trend down or maintain. And like when it's tough, you want to rather maintain. Yesterday I did 1,200 calories. But in the evening I had flaxseed flour. And I had a lot of Atkins chocolate during the day. They're low in calorie, but they're high in something. And they're not part of the diet that I'm on. But I did feel a little bit hungry. And also I think, but I get satiated quickly, thank God. I feel like I'm taking a medication that's suppressing my appetite, and it's working. That's like another tip that I'm on to trip. It's great. But really, I'm just eating more butter, I guess. Anyway, I just have not been pooping, and that's not, great for the scale over here. I think it does cause, and also, by the way, I did add a little bit more salt to my diet yesterday, just to check things out. I'm not somebody who uses extra salt in general, and I did, do maybe 1 tablespoon throughout the day. That's a lot for me to just randomly put a teaspoon of salt in a jug of water and drink it, and then throughout the day, and then when that runs out, put another, So those are the changes. I'm going to not do that today, and I'm also going to cut out. I probably should still do the salt part, but I get antsy when my weight goes up. I'm not in a place where I have a leeway with my weight, so. And those chocolates, I could throw them out. I did throw out the M&M ones type because, first of all, they're not delicious. It's just sweet, and you're just chewing, and you just keep on chewing. It's like there's an addicting element to them, even though you're not enjoying them, like a mindlessness. Or it's to me, not to them. And so there's that. So I threw all of those out. I got like 11 servings per type. Maybe I used like 3 servings at best. So I threw out all of the other ones, and I kept the caramel squares, which are my favorite, they're good, but they're not great. This batch is not super delicious, but I think also the fear of not having food at home is like, oh, I don't really have, I do, but I don't. And I'm so lucky that everything led to me being in some kind of a place in a diet. It's like whimsical, where I ended up without appetite. So the few things that I have, like I had maybe 4 cans of salmon, but I'm eating like a can of salmon per day, and that's my diet. In what world does that happen? So I'm lucky in that way, because everything is stretching so much further, thank God. Otherwise, maybe I would have had to go grocery shopping, and I will tomorrow. And all of this is so great for me because I'm trying to do grocery shopping once a month, not for the grocery part, but for the trip to Ridgecrest. And the last time I went, I think was April 1st, I do believe, or the last day of March, something like that. I went in. The food lasted almost the whole of April. But then I got free stuff, which extended. And then this whole weird diet that's making me eat less, extending everything even further. So thankful. So I'm like, wow, this is also obviously a way of my money lasting longer. Who doesn't want that? So it's going to be interesting how I'm going to shop this time without getting treats for myself, such as I was slowly reintroducing, like making it normal for myself to kind of reintroducing a cheat day in a way, because I'd be like, just quickly go to Stater Brothers and get a couple of bolillo buns, which I love, and put chicken tenders in there that are spicy, which I love, and a couple slices of cheese. And I was making that, okay. Yeah, that could have ended up being a rabbit hole, who knows. So I was making that normal. The other day I was even like, just get a French loaf. Now you're like falling off the wagon. You're not even realizing it. You're thinking, why have I not been doing this all along? Because it's bad for you. Because you're not that person who can do that. Because you're not a person who can just have a couple shots per week, okay? That kind of deal. So, thank God I stumbled upon this before I started thinking, just eat carbs, and then before I knew it, it was 150 again, I don't think I ever was, but you know what I mean. So, it's going to be an interesting trip. I need to actually go over my groceries, because now I'm going to be doing more butter in my diet, more fat. I'm going to be not just getting, it's funny because so I got free chicken breasts, and I ate those, and with success, because it had been a while since I ate those successfully. I had started almost as soon as I moved to the desert to have a reaction to chicken breasts, which sucked, because one of my favorite meals is, avocado, egg, chicken breast. That is like yummo, filling AF. And I had a reaction to avocado and to chicken breasts. And of course, I cannot have that many boiled eggs either. So that whole meal got ruined for me, but I was still eating eggs. And I cut out avo, and I miss avo, but I cut it out. It's funny, because even when I do buy avocado, actually, sometimes I forget that it's here, I don't know, whatever. Now, when I got these chicken breasts, I started eating them. It's like a big advent of food dieting for me right now, so I don't know what's going on. I ate the chicken breasts, 2 big things, and I felt a little bit of a reaction the first 2 times, and then I was fine the rest of the time. I didn't even have to take an antihistamine, so that was like, what's happening? And I put them in my list. I was like, shoot, I'm going to buy this. The chicken breasts are cheaper than the other meats that I've been eating. And it's nice to add one more thing to your diet that you love that's very low calorie and very satiating. However, this diet says don't eat chicken. I'm going to continue to eat chicken for the above reasons. This diet also says don't count calories. I'm going to, for my own sanity, continue to count calories. By the way, this recording is not about a diet. But I guess there's a tangent, a huge tangent. So I'm going to have fun buying a lot of, first of all, buying cheaper beef because I'm supposed to eat not beef, but ground beef, cheaper ground beef. I always buy cheaper beef because the ground beef that I'm buying is not the 70% or 90% fat-free. It's the regular one. So I'm going to save a couple bucks there, and I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully somebody has like a sale so I can buy the big one. And yeah, I'm going to have fun doing that kind of stuff because I never buy that one. That one's 350 calories per serving, 4 ounces, which is nothing. So whereas the one that I buy is half of that in calories, sometimes even less. So you spend more and you get more, or get less calories. So like that's the win. That's the trade-off. So now I'm not trading. It's nice to be out of that game with regards to these things. And you're supposed to buy the meats with fat. I used to try not to, and I would cut out the fat and remove the fat. So now it's like, whoa, like a hamster wheel. By the way, I don't think I know what that is. I think I do, but I don't think I do. So we're gonna do that now. I'm gonna enjoy that. And I was even thinking, when I buy you cheese, last time I got a bigger thing of a cheese and it lasted longer. And it was nice to still have cheese whenever I decided to, and whenever I didn't want to, it was still there. Because normally cheese is one of those things I buy only a little during my PMS period and then I'm out. So I was like, yeah, I wrote on my list, get a bigger cheese. Be those families. And now apparently I need to watch out for dairy in this thing that I'm doing. So I'm like, shit, do I still, maybe I'll get one big cheese sliced and that'll be the cheese. Because normally I set money aside just to buy a variety of cheeses, which, it's one of my fun things to do. But I'm going to have fun with the whole new diet. Something new is exciting, right? So we're going to do that. Apparently this is not going to be a short recording. So I'm going to do a big, so I'm going to maybe get one big cheese that I like so that I can pace myself throughout the month whenever I do treat myself with cheese, because I'm intending to cut out that. Now, I love a tea. I do spend a decent amount of, likely coffee creamer is not expensive, but I do, go there with creamer. And it's one of my happy places where it's like, you love tea with creamer, so you have to have that. It's a hug and a this and a that. So apparently I'm supposed to remove that from my diet. I did consider cutting out sweetener and cutting out creamer. And I was playing around with that, using less helpings, etc., etc. So that's going to be probably a little bit challenging, and I don't know how I'm going to handle that with regards to grocery shopping. It'll be weird not to come home and not have creamer in the fridge. It will feel like I'm on those diets from when I wasn't educated about dieting, and I thought you had to eat lettuce, and I thought you had to be hungry. So we'll see. Maybe I'll win my way out of that, as they say. So that's going to be one thing. And we're not doing keto breads. I'd already cut those out because I realized that I feel like I'm being cheated and I'm just being robbed. in daylight, like, hey, I'm going to write this name on here and you're going to give me a lot of money. It was kind of like the era where white people went to Africa and said, here's glass and here's a Bible. Give me 5,000 of your strongest men. And they were like, all right, go ahead, here you go. I feel like it's that. I know that's dark. So I've been reading a lot on history and slavery and geography and all that recently. Then, so we're looking forward to, I guess, that. I'm still going to get a ton of eggs, thank God. I usually get the 60 egg box, which usually lasts longer than a month. But now that I don't want to say like now that I'm cutting off like vegetables. I'm not cutting off vegetables. I wasn't eating vegetables. But I'm cutting off something. I'm not eating tofu. Oh my God, I have shrimp. I'm not eating tofu on days that I actually started remembering tofu and I was adding more of that. It's so confusing, all of it. I really need to get to a place in my diet where I'm focused. I'm not going to a nutritionist or a dietitian. Maybe it's just like me throughout my life when I was like, I'm not going to therapy. And now I'm going-ish. It's like probably one of those things where like maybe I should go and see a dietitian or whatever and let them test me and give me the right thing for myself. I don't know what the test is going to be. But it's like whatever. Because, right? So yeah, what am I removing from my diet? I'm removing tofu, which I wasn't eating a lot of. Definitely. So now I guess I have to take out cucumbers, which I could still keep. The coconut flour bread that I was making a lot, which uses a lot of eggs. You end up using, if you're going to have a couple of eggs with your breakfast and bacon and some coconut flour bread, you're putting 1 or 2 eggs in that bread too. So we're cutting that out for a bit. I've only been doing this thing since the 28th, let's say, 28, 29, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so like 9 days. Even though I did eat raisins on the first so day. Eating, I tasted coconut flour bread yesterday. It was so sweet. I didn't even realize it's that sweet. So can you imagine once I've cut out sweetener and coffee creamer, which has sweetener or sugar in it, once I've cut those out, my body is probably really going to thank me. And apparently I'm not going to miss those things once I really go in. Because now I'm like working my way into it, I guess. I thought I was going all in, but I'm not, to be honest. I don't have enough groceries to go all in, first of all, so it's not super practical. I have a habit of checking if I have new messages. Oh, I do. Perfect. So, I'm just checking my fridge. What I have in the fridge now is a bunch of protein shakes, which, it's a comfort place. Oh, by the way, another thing is I had mayonnaise. Oh, I do have 1 egg. I have mayonnaise by spoon, just a tip of it and tasting, which is another thing I'm supposed to remove. I'm not going to do that just yet. I just need to have certain things like as backup, which is for comfort, like a psychological thing. Maybe I should eat the tofu. I mean, it is here. What am I going to do with it? Have that tofu. I should. Because tomorrow is grocery day. So I don't have to super save a ton of stuff anymore for like knowing that I still have groceries and be not eating because I want to say I have groceries, which you're supposed to have. Anyway, so I have tofu, a tub of tofu. I have a pack of shrimp, which I'm about to defrost. A lot of butter, thank God, so that works for me. A bunch of protein drinks, which I've been leaving off of. Maybe if I took those out of my diet too. So yeah, now I have to remove those from my diet too. And they're low in calorie, low in carbs, low in water, but they're high on a lot of, there's a lot of something in there. Because you don't end up with something that tastes so good without putting a lot of stuff into it. So with regards to, so I have 1 egg raw and 1 tuna fish and several packages of gross white packaged chicken. When I say gross, it's not an understatement. I don't even like them. They don't remind, I don't have good like memories of that kind of stuff. I don't know if anybody ever does. Would like to poop. This diet's not making me poop a lot, and I haven't been a big pooper recently anyway, no pun intended. So, and then in my fridge, there's nothing. Well, not my fridge, I have several small fridges. My office fridge, that's my freezer. I set it all the way up, and I keep it closed, so it maintains the frozen stuff frozen for the most part. I mean, I probably, could improve my life and get real fridge and whatever, but who cares? I'm also on that simplicity lifestyle, minimalism as well, and frugal, etc., etc., etc. So, what are we gonna eat? I want to have something to eat today and tomorrow. I guess this is about planning meals. I had bacon. I'm craving bacon. It is also like PMS period. No pun intended. Maybe I should defrost this fridge because there is nothing here and it's dirty. There's a little bit of a spillage. It's Sunday and we're spending Sundays chilling now because it's important to pace myself and to have off days. And I've just been pushing and pushing and pushing. It doesn't make much of a difference to push myself that much, in that the work never really gets done. I mean, we're getting somewhere with it, but there's no need to work myself to the ground at all. So I wonder what's going to end up happening with all these onions that I have. I have a bag of 50-pound onions. Now, last week, I worked all week, as one does, and then Saturday, I worked around the house so much. Half the time, I couldn't tell you what I did. But I know I did stuff, and the house looks clean and clear. And my house has been kind of normal for a while, where someone can just walk in, and you're not like, I wasn't prepared type of deal. Then Sunday, I was like, I'm really going to do nothing. And I tell you what, because I'd been working on, I have these like fruit fly type things everywhere. It's hard. We live in the desert. And once you get to the summertime, all bets are off regarding the bugs. I still have a couple things that I would have wanted to do to feel like I'm really resting. My recliner had stuff that had been sitting on it. It's beginning of May now, but my recliner had stuff on it since like I came back from Africa. Ish around that time. That was like, let's say since the beginning of the year. So I was like, let me at least remove the mountain of clothing that is on my recliner so that my bedroom looks like a bedroom. I don't always have room for everything yet, which is partly why I'm always working. So I moved those things, and some of the winter stuff I'm getting out of here, and I'm putting it, I'm making room for summer stuff that we're getting ready for, because I have a ton of stuff here that I've been working hard first thing in the morning or last thing of the day, especially first thing in the morning. Last week is one of the things that I did. I would go next door in the bedroom over there. I don't consider the other rooms bedrooms. So I would go to the main bedroom, and I would, before I start work, and I would sort a ton of clothes that had been sitting there since November. Not last year, but the year before. So it's like a year and a half. So I would go through that stuff, and I would A lot of trying on, unfortunately, because nothing fits. And having been that long for me, that's a lot of time for me to definitely not fit into clothes. And I was doing laundry every morning because all of it needed to be washed, because I never went through it. And it's mine. It's not, if it was, we're selling it, I wouldn't have bothered about washing. But a lot of it ended up going to the store, like more than 100 pieces that I counted. End up going to the store. Some of it was heartbreaking because it was just not fitting me. And then, Sunday, I deserved even more to take a break. I always do, but more so now because I'm very aware of what I'm doing. And also, I worked that much harder. I was still doing the store and I was doing the extra stuff in the bedroom. Which, productivity, yes, but at the same time, I think part of productivity, in order for you to be able to be productive, you have to get the necessary rest. It's part of it. So, Sunday, it's not like you're taking, it's not a day off, it's just a weekend. It's just Sunday, I'm entitled maybe every so many months to take a day off, but because of the traveling that I do too, I don't do it a lot. I do it on average once a month. And in that period, maybe there'll be a couple of days there during the week that are days off, ish. We're working on that too. We're working on maybe adding one more day to my trips instead of just doing whatever number, do a little bit more. So I'm easing my way into adding quality to my life. It has been a journey, because I've always been so tunnel vision on one thing. So I'm trying to do all of that. I'm proud of myself for this stage in my life. It's long overdue, really. So here, I cleared my recliner, which I love and I missed. So it was such a nice day Sunday. I remember finishing everything and then sitting on the edge of the bed like, now what? Because I'm so used to being in motion. I was like, now what am I going to do with myself? And then I put on the book, Tales of a Female Nomad, great book about, obviously, female nomad. And I had it playing. She's a great storyteller. So I have the audio version, and I had it playing. I lit a candle in my bedroom, and I made it really dark, sat on the recliner. This is after I took a bath, I believe. What is this? Gross. And I sat on my recliner with a heating pad on my feet. I do tend to have cold feet. And I listened to that book with a candle. It was absolute bliss. I even took a photo of the vibe in my room. It didn't translate as what it was more of a feeling, I guess, of the room than the look of it, but it was part of the ambience for me. It didn't really translate, but that's fine too. I remember what it was like, what it felt like, and that's usually what it's about. So that was my Sunday that day. I think at some point, I don't know, probably ended up going to sleep, probably ended up watching something. Who knows? But turning everything off that day and doing that was nice. That I was like, wow, this is what a day in feels like, should feel like, right? It's not a staycation, but it kind of is like that. It became that. It's like, wow, look at you, resting. And then we hit the ground running during the week. Well, on Monday, but my sister called me on Tuesday. Actually, on Monday, I worked longer than I did more listings than I normally do. I did because with a new store, somewhere in there, I opened up a new store. With a new store, I did 10 in the new store, 10 in one of my newer stores, 5 in one of them too. So I did 26 listings. It's way more than I normally do. If I do 20 listings, it's an out of the ordinary day for me. So 26 is, even when I was myself and I was starting my life as a lister, I wouldn't do 25. I would do 19, 20 and be like, whoa, look at me kicking ass and taking names. That. By the way, when did I buy this? I bought it in January, February, March, April, May. It lasted more than 4 months. Where did I need to keep stocking it where I stocked it this time. My thing lasted the longest, my propane. More than 4 months. Normally I think about 3 months. I do tend to use the microwave a lot, but I also use that. Anyway, you never know, but all these things add up, and in hindsight, you're like, thank God that happened, because then the unforeseeable happened after. Because I started working the next day, and my sister called, and we sat on the phone. I allowed myself that day off. We were on the phone for more than 9 hours, so that was my day off. The only thing I did was to package and ship 1 or 2 items during the phone call, but that's not I consider my work listing, because that's the worky part. That's the part that feels like, fuck, I'm working. Let me go to work and do the listings. Packaging and shipping is the bonus that you get. It's this, anyway. Then, I guess at some point I'm going to have to stop drinking this crystal light type thing. Wow. I'll enjoy it while it lasts. Oh my gosh. That's going to be a weird day. Yeah, I'm going to have to. Oh my gosh, it's a lot of changes. We'll see. I like to work on something. Who doesn't? So looking forward to that. Then, especially something with like immediate results. It's really exciting. Like now, like I get on the scale and I lose. So I took the day off, and when we were done, I slept so good, one of the best nights. And I noticed, and the phone call was amazing. Sometimes I dodge my family because I'm like, I'm going to be talking to this person. They're going to dismiss me. It's going to whatever. And also, I haven't been going to therapy. I've been feeling really good about things. Maybe it's denial. Maybe it's a well-deserved break. So I wasn't too in that space of dysfunctional family dynamic. You are the this of the family. I am the that. I wasn't thinking about that. I was just enjoying talking, laughing. It was a fun phone call from beginning to end. Really enjoyed it. And I think because of therapy, after that phone call, it's been twice now that I talked to this particular family member who sometimes, just in general, I tend to do that. And because she's an easy person to open up to, sometimes I say things and I'm like, man, I shouldn't have said that or whatever. But this time my mind was trying to do it, and I was like, nope. And my mind was I was like, nope, nope, nope. It didn't take more than 30 minutes total of my mind trying to go there and me saying, no, we're not doing that. No regrets, no ruminating. It happened twice, and I'm so proud of myself. And I think that's because of therapy. Then the following day was Wednesday. So I thought, okay, I had to go and pick up stuff. So I worked a lot in the morning, and then I went to pick up what I needed to, and then I came back and I sat on the chair to continue working. I heard from a family member, and it was bad news on my part, my life, and I just spun everything around in a way that was not expected. So that ended up being, it wasn't a day off, it was a compassionate leave day, is what it ended up being. And I was out here, I was getting love from people, I was getting support, and I'm just so humbled that everybody was there for me the way that they were. And they made me feel like, hey, you're so scared to be vulnerable and to reach out and to talk about your life and your problems. But maybe people have been out here all along waiting for you to be ready. And I'm like, thank you guys, right? Not gonna cry. Not gonna shed a tear. Then, that was a very heavy day. I haven't told my family everything.
I've talked to 2 family members about it. I talked to 3 other people about it. Didn't intend to. I tried to reach out to as many people as possible because people are not available. So when some of them called me back, I was like, no, it's fine. And then one of them I did talk to, but I didn't give them all the details, which I'm proud of. And another person that I talked to, well, actually, all the other 3 people, I didn't tell them all the details. I just told them this is what happened and this is how it happened, but I didn't tell them like the who and what the intricacies. They were there, they were supportive, they made me feel like a part of something. And it was so good. It was so good. By the time the day ended, I already felt light. It already felt like it's something that happened so long ago. Like the mind is wild. So that day I went outside and walked a little bit barefoot somewhere on the desert. It's hard here because it's sandy, because it's desert, but it's rocky sand. It's not comfortable sand to walk barefoot on. Then I'm proud of how I handled it, and it was because of people telling me, women are so amazing. So many women who went through so much pain, and now they have all this experience to share with you when you're going through it. And they're so willing to open up and tell you, I've been through that. And they were like, this is what you do in this case. And they embraced me. It was more so not my family members, because I don't think my family, I don't know if it's the African part of it. My family, I'm the one on the leading edge when it comes to, by the way, I'm not that different from my ex who would pace up and down. I do a lot of pacing up and down too, which is good because I don't walk. So it's like I'm strolling around the house. Maybe that's how I get my steps when I do the recordings. You know what, maybe I need to sit on, no, I'm not doing that, it's fine. This is good too. Yeah, these women were like, I'm here for you. I've been through that. And this is how, and I had a similar reaction. This is what you do. I was like, wow, these guys are so generous, you know? Thank you, you guys. And obviously I owe them. That's how I feel, like that's how I live my life. Like, you do something for me, I do something for you. So, yeah. And I don't know if I would have been able to be where I am now without all those women. I felt like I was a part of something that day. Then today, of course I went back to work the following day, and the following day was Friday. I also, somewhere in the process, reached out to the mechanic because I'm going to be in town, and I was like, let's close that chapter that's been going on for 3 months. So I said, hey, I want to come and pick up my part. Like, I am ending it. I've been waiting on you. I'm ending this. I'm cutting the cord. And he said, let me do the thing that's been lingering for 3 months. So we agreed on tomorrow. We'll see. I'm not holding my breath. But I want my part, regardless, I want my part in my car. It could be where it belongs, in the car, or inside my car, with me taking it back to the store or whatever. But yeah, that needs to be done. I probably will take it back until something breaks and then I have it fixed, because I didn't even, the car is moving and he's the one who said it needs to be fixed and I bought it. So I'm a believer in driving it until the wheels fall off. All right, whatever, dude. I was pleasantly surprised that he was responding to my messages right away and arranging, and we reached a conclusion. That was a weird thing, but I'm not holding my breath, like I said. Then I hope he does it and it's done. I don't think that I'll be reaching out to him in the future, because I'm very once bitten, twice shy. I'm looking forward to making my first sale in my new store, because I don't think that I've ever had a store where I've had as many items as I do now, and I still haven't made a sale. I've sent maybe a handful of offers to watchers, but nobody has bidden yet. I've listed everything, and I've made things cheap, but I'm focusing on the tops because I wanted to get rid of the women's tops. Everything else does sell in other stores, but the ladies' tops don't really sell. They're not moving. So I wanted to do maybe that's why it's not selling, because I'm listing things that are not selling. But it doesn't help that, it's a very new store without any history of anything. So what I was thinking of doing is, I'm not stressing about it. I love that I'm doing it. And I love that there's 60 extra things in there that wouldn't have been listed otherwise anywhere else. And it probably would have taken me a long time to, get to them, or to list 60 more things. And for some reason, everything's working out so that it's possible now. So I'm going to, and what I've done, I think on Friday, is I've put regular stuff in there too. Like jeans, they're not super cheap, but they're cheaper than everybody else, more or less. And that's so that I don't go back once I start getting traction. I don't then, when somebody buys it, because now I have ratings and whatever, and I'm like, I should have listed this higher. That's why I'm listing it at a price that I'm going to be happy with. I don't have to go back and reprice things, which is not really something that I do. Very proud of myself and the movement that's been going on. And I'm very happy and thankful for the contentment. And I like that I'm doing these recordings, because I'm not doing a lot of sitting down and writing. I'm thankful for, but I'm doing this. And this, I think, is keeping me more in that thankful reflection state, because I talk longer. And it's also making me walk up and down, right? So that's that. That was 45 minutes. And I have a bunch of messages I'm looking forward to doing. It's Sunday today, like I said at the top of this. And it's going to be interesting to see what I'm going to end up. Well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to rest. And allegedly, the time now is 5 to 7 in the morning. So it's a perfect time to stop this. And last week, where I started by doing something, I have another couch that's full of clothing. So maybe I'll do that for an hour until 8. And then after that, I'm going to rest. Yesterday, I vacuumed the floor. I let the machine vacuum. I kind of worked on the washing machine that was not... I didn't really work. It was, I was going to say in class, I take Andy, which is fine. I can say it. It's weird that I always do this in English. I had a sock stuck in the thing. That's why it wasn't draining. So I found it and I removed it. Yeah, so yesterday I did my bed. I washed my bedding. Soaked it in the bathtub first with ammonia, whatever, which I love, the new thing that I started using. It's all those things, you keep going, and you keep introducing new things. I don't think I'm enjoying how bright it is in this room now. I think I don't even realize how much I was loving how dark it was. Now the light is just coming all the way in. For some reason, I'm like, I think it's taking me to the time when I was kind of depressed with going to therapy, and it was just so bright. And then it got dark after that when I stopped going to therapy. So, yeah, maybe I'll adjust, hopefully. Or I'll just fucking cover it up. We'll see. I did sleep for 2 nights next door when it was too hot. And it was nice, but it's on the floor, and I think the bugs had access to me. And I didn't like that. But it was nice. It felt like, camping or whatever. I probably should do it more often. I am... working on making the house what I want it to be, like moving things and putting them in their right place, because it's been needing it for a while. I don't know what I was doing. I was working and then going to sleep. Just walked past one of my closets. Oh my God, I just looked at myself for the first time today. One of my closets one of my walk-ins. I did so much work in there.
walking in there, it still feels like, wow. By the way, this is how it looks now here. What the fuck is this? It looks like it's supposed to be a pillow. It's like that kind of deal. I remember. Oh yeah, this was my favorite pillow at one point. I did think about this recently. I want to take some of this pillow apart and stuff it into my neck pillows, which are so like soft. So I'm gonna harden them up with this cushioning. Why am I recording all of this now? Oh, let me get off this. All right, bye.